watching WeAllBe News Radio, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm Thaddeus Matthews.
Lo and behold, Brother Ron is still in control because God is at the wheel. So anyway, this meeting with Dr. Umar Johnson in Little Rock, Bang Bang 2016 Lifetime Achievement Award. A kind of likeness shirt with him, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, with the forefathers, Frederick Douglass and Marcus Mosiah Garvey. But anyway, with that said, let me offer some more insights about my feelings about Dr. Umar Johnson. I think it's a great time to be alive right now because Donald Trump is forcing you Negroes, not Negroes, but Negroes. He's forcing you Negroes to learn your history. I always tell people before you complain about what's going on right now, think about what was going on in America 50 years ago. Think about what was going on in America 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago. To put things in proper perspective, 100 years ago, we had a gentleman from Jamaica named Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Mosiah Garvey came to America back in the 1910s, started his United Negro Improvement Association, correct? But also he was a pen pal with the one and only Booker T. Washington, the Tuskegee. Because he wanted to start a similar project down in Jamaica, I believe. So he'll write Booker T. Washington as a correspondent, as a Jegna, somebody that was wise counsel. So when he came to America, by the time Marcus made it over the water, over the pond, Booker T. Washington was a righteous ancestor. And so Marcus stayed, and he started his United Negro Improvement Association, that movement, Black Star Line, trying to send black folks back to Africa. See, Dr. Umar Johnson, for better or for worse, is our version of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Mosiah Garvey wanted to, he had a Black Star Line, right? A fleet of ships to send black folks back to Africa, black American natives back to the so-called motherland, right? He never went to Africa. How many of y'all knew that Marcus Garvey never stepped foot on Mother Africa soil? He never went to Africa, but he sent some folks to Africa. Dr. Umar Johnson promises to build a boarding school for black boys to teach them about, being proud black African, Pan-Africanist stuff. He got the buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. They're about to be sold off allegedly. Dr. Umar, you could say he never built or created a school that he said he was going to do. But nonetheless, he taught you Negroes on his social media through the Hidden Colors documentaries. He schooled you Negroes. He schooled a lot of you Negroes. A lot of you ungrateful Negroes were schooled by Dr. Umar Johnson. I told you about the mailman theory. I hope y'all can hear me. Let me know out there if y'all can hear me. I know ain't too many people right now, but Brother Ron got an awesome God, universal God got an awesome plan for Brother Ron, right? What I'm saying, even though he did not build the so-called physical school, Dr. Umar utilized social media to teach you all about your history, her story, his story. He used social media to teach those things to the people. And I hope I'm coming in loud and clear for you people. I love the people, by the way. I have no animosity towards my people. Sometimes it could be disappointing, but once you realize what we're dealing with as far as spiritual warfare, then it's not so bad. I don't think it's that bad. But so he used the internet, the World Wide Web as his school. A lot of y'all have benefited from the lectures and interviews of Dr. Umar Johnson. I have, for one, benefited from the lectures and interviews, and him utilize social media to get out certain perspectives and concepts and philosophies. Greatly appreciated in his own right. He is a master teacher. I think it's strange that people try to tell the man to kill his dream. You so-called dream killers. Y'all don't tell the white man to kill their oppression over you. Y'all don't tell white people, man, stop. Y'all don't tell the IRS to stop taxing y'all. Y'all don't. It's like it's weird with people. They got this thing about Umar. It triggers people about Umar Johnson. I never gave money to his school program, but I benefited from his teachings, right? I met him back in February 2nd, 2016, I believe, at a lecture he did at University of Tennessee at Knoxville. And I have, he's been very generous with his time of sharing his wisdom and insight with the people. I have seen him support Black causes, Black institutions, like when he came to Memphis back in 2016. That was the year of Dr. Umar for me. I recorded a lot of this stuff, went to several events. He was invited to Slave Haven. He supported Slave Haven. Shout out to Miss Elaine Turner, Slave Haven, the Lee family. He supported their thing, brought stuff from them. We interviewed Dr. Umar in that setting. He was happy to be among his people and also to invest in his people. So, I mean, whatever y'all think about, I mean, the man taught a lot of people, a lot of Black parents benefited from his calls on, y'all had y'all little phone calls, group call sessions, kind of like Zoom calls y'all would have with Dr. Umar, and he helped people navigate this just us system that's about indoctrination, not liberation. It's not about indoctrination. What y'all consider education is really indoctrination. It's not about liberation. Hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. I don't want this to be in vain. How I'm talking, I'm gonna check my mic. I'm always trying to use some new stuff, and I'm making sure y'all can hear me loud and clear. Let me check it out. It's not this coming in. Let me see. But keep hope alive, everybody. Keep hope alive. I'm trying to see y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Let's see. Let's see what I gotta do. Yeah, but like Dr. Umar helped a lot of people and stuff. But like Marcus Garvey never been to Africa. Dr. Umar has not built a physical school. But to me, it's about, shifting the mindset of a people, shifting the mentality of a people. God will use interesting people and things. Like they say, a broke clock can be right twice a day. So I know y'all ain't trying to. Okay, it's coming in good. I love it. I love it. You like it, I love it. But he helped a lot of people, man. And God ain't through with him yet. He's been blessing a lot of people, and y'all focus on the wrong things because he's a man. He's flawed. He has shortcomings. When you worship idols, they always say, "Don't meet your heroes; they will disappoint." See, the problem with y'all is the difference between me and a lot of y'all is that I actually been cursed out by Dick Gregory many times. It is recorded for posterity. And a lot of y'all are too sensitive. I hate to say the word. It's not wrong with being empathic. I'm an empath. What I'm saying is, y'all throw away the baby with the bathwater. Y'all was just like, because I was upset because this person triggered me. Y'all throw away everything based on one interaction. He's a human being. I'm a human being. You're a human being. We could all be entitled to a bad day. People are talking about the first impression is the best and only impression. That's not true, because you could be having a bad day and people come at you. You might, I ain't gonna necessarily be disrespectful, but not be more, resonant with the people, because you might got some stuff going on personally or professionally or whatever it is that day. And people say, well, Brother Ron, man, he was mean. He was short with us. He wasn't receptive to us. But you don't know what was going on with Brother Ron that day. I could have, went to the doctor, got some diagnosis, or I could have lost a loved one. It's a lot of things. Somebody could have stole something from me, and I'm not really there at the moment with you. My thing is, don't internalize stuff like that. Because my thing is, if Brother Ron upset you when we first interacted, but if you benefited from the work and the knowledge of Brother Ron, rest on that. He said, I know Brother Ron, maybe he ain't the best, in person. He's not the most receptive, but I was able to receive the knowledge that he had available for me. Whatever he shared, that's the best of me. Take the best of me. If you can't deal with the worst of me, just receive the best It's like everything. Like you go into a buffet. You don't have to eat everything at the buffet. You got options. You eat what you want to eat. You put whatever you want to put on your plate, and let the other stuff be where it's at. Don't pick up other people's baggage. No, if it ain't your baggage, leave it where it is. Don't carry nobody else's baggage. Right? Don't. People gonna project. That's their business. But with Dr. Umar, I think he did more good than harm, and God ain't through with him. You understand? God ain't through with Dr. Umar. And he may get the school built, because what y'all don't understand, if you look at some of the greatest innovators of whatever field of study or arena, a lot of them don't achieve their prime or their peak or their purpose until they like 40s, 50s, and 60s. You think about Colonel Sanders, who was, a serial entrepreneur. He didn't start having his success with KFC. He started KFC in his 60s. Ray Kroc he wasn't the founder of the McDonald's. Look at the movie The Founder with Michael Keaton. Did a hell of a job playing Ray Kroc, the guy who made McDonald's one of the most recognizable business brands in the whole world, one of the most successful, if not the most successful restaurant franchise in the world. He did a lot of jobs before he was able to find his thing with McDonald's when he was in his 50s and 60s. There's more than one way to get to where you need to go, but you look at the people that are iconic in their field, a lot of them don't really start or get their big break until later on in life. See, I think this is where we always we worship at the altar of youth, staying young forever, Peter Pan complex type of stuff. We look at athletes. People say an athlete is washed up. You're not even 40 yet. A lot of these athletes retire by the time they're in their 30s. A lot of them be broke within 5 years of retirement, and people think life is over for them. Like, how your life is over in your 30s? How are you too old to do anything in your 30s? I mean, your 20s, you got a lot of energy, you got a lot of raw talent, but you may not have the experience or the skill sets in order to maximize your energy at that time. Why do you think older people send younger people to fight in wars? Why do you think old rich man, they send young fools to, die for things they don't know what they dying for or fighting for? I'm not saying young fools in a disrespect. I'm saying when you're young, you don't know too much of anything. You got some old fools too, but what I'm saying is a lot of times, people get things twisted because they believe that things should be done in a certain time. It's like with Dr. Umar Johnson, people believe that, well, I want to help Dr. Umar Johnson. I volunteer my carpentry experience, my HVAC experience, my resources. Okay, fine. If he's not receptive to that, that's his loss. But, he has a vision for how he sees his school. Let it be. Start your own school. That's what I'm saying. Start. If he's not appreciative or receptive to what you have to offer, maybe he's not the perfect or right fit for what you're trying to do. Find your dream and manifest it. It's enough room for everybody to shine, to have their thing. But think about 100 years ago, what they did to Marcus Garvey, the government. They set him up for mail fraud. They put him in prison. They deported him back to Jamaica. Never set foot in Africa, but yet he played a role in promoting Pan-Africanism and Rastafarianism. The Haile Selassie being a descendant or blood relative of Jesus Christ. He promoted a lot of that in his own way. I'm saying God has other plans. So with Dr. Umar, I don't believe it's over. It ain't over till it's over, man. That's all I'm saying. And I wish him happy birthday. I hope he enjoyed his birthday in spite of his obstacles, because this too shall pass. And a setup is a setup for a comeback. Once again, wait a minute. I said it wrong. I said a setback is a setup for a comeback. A setback is a setup for a comeback. A setback is a setup for a comeback. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to see what Dr. Umar, what the universe so God got in store for Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay. I think that's enough on Dr. Umar Johnson. I think I did enough where I could, cut this up and feed y'all. Feed you. But think about 100 years ago. Today is Dr. Umar Johnson. 100 years ago was Marcus Garvey. Just like we think about the occupation in D.C. with the National Guard. Today is the National Guard. 100 years ago, it was the Ku Klux Klan. It was marching down Pennsylvania Avenue. It was the Ku Klux Klan that was marching in New York. You know, it's an incident where Donald Trump's dad, Fred Trump, allegedly was a Klansman back in the 20s. You gotta understand the Klan was like its strongest in the 1920s. It resurrected after the Birth of a Nation movie came out in 1915. And it got started back up in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and it spread. And the biggest Klan state in the Union was not Mississippi or Alabama or Texas or whatever you think the Deep South is. It actually was Indiana, so-called Hoosier state, was the biggest Klan state in the nation. You had the governor, mayors, police chiefs, all types of powerful politicians and people, public servants were Klansmen. And they would march and parades, and people know who they were. Matter of fact, a very powerful U.S. senator from Alabama, Hugo Black, was a Klan person, and he actually was a major voice in the Brown v. Board decision back in the 50s when he was a Supreme Court justice, and he apologized for being in the Klan later on because he saw the error of his ways. Amazing grace. So he saw the error of his ways. So he told, he basically joined the Klan for political purposes because the Klan was more powerful really than a Democrat or Republican back in the day. Because both were in the Klan. The Klan was started by Democrats, but in America is as American as apple or cherry pie. So with that said, yeah, man. I mean, it's complex. But even Marcus Garvey, he dealt with the Klan. They were allies or supporters. Politics made for strange bedfellows, but also you have Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He dealt with the Klan in terms of real estate. He brought real estate from the Klan, I believe, from his homeland of Georgia. He brought real estate from the Klan. He did dealings. I mean, he had George Lincoln Rockwell, the founder of the American Nazi Party. He allowed him to speak at Nation of Islam functions and whatever, be distinguished guests at Nation of Islam. You got pictures of George Lincoln Rockwell, the American Nazi, at these Nation of Islam events. Malcolm didn't really care too much about him per se, but Malcolm, for example, he was interviewed by Planned Parenthood. Yes, they're Planned Parenthood. They asked him basically, how could they promote what they was doing to the black community? What was the best way to get into the black community to promote what they're promoting? Margaret Sanger was a Klanswoman. I mean, she talked to Klan ladies about Planned Parenthood, which is like Planned systemic genocide, maybe, I don't know. Dr. King got a Margaret Sanger Award back in 1966. I believe Coretta Scott King accepted it on his behalf, I believe. But you had the Negro Project with the Planned Parenthood, right? You had distinguished scholars and leaders like Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, like Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, some of my greatest black iconic figures who were collaborating with Planned Parenthood, how to promote Planned Parenthood in the so-called black community. Because you had, black elitists that didn't want certain type of black folks to reproduce as well. It's people that I respect in the mind that was in on this thing. Just like with y'all talking about Donald Trump and the black folks that voted for Donald Trump. Well, over 100 years ago, the black elites and black people voted for Woodrow Wilson. They promoted Woodrow Wilson like he was the second coming of Abraham Lincoln. And black folks, he got the black vote. Because like Joe Biden said, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. So black folks voted in droves for Woodrow Wilson, who was a white supremacist. He was just a racist. A lot of racists are not white supremacists. See, what y'all don't understand is that racism is the system. White supremacy is the religion. Racism is the system. White supremacy is the religion. All white folks are not white supremacists. You got some black people that are white supremacists. It's a religion. Like you got black Mormons. You know how the Mormons disrespected black people. You hear black. I think Gladys Knight is a black Mormon, right? Church of Latter-day Saints. Look at the Mormons had a civil war with the American government before the American Civil War happened. They had one out west. That's how they got Utah. They fought a civil war with American government with the first gay president. It wasn't Barack Obama. The first gay president was James Buchanan. And people may want to argue that he wasn't, but read a letter he wrote allegedly to a woman, one of his dearest friends, about one of his love, this guy that he had so much love for, his bromance, this like suspect bromance with one of his ambassadors, whatever, who was a U.S. senator, something like Rufus King or something. I can't think of his name. Look that stuff up. The letter he wrote about that man, about how he had to settle for an old maid to take care of him and wipe his assets. That he really was desiring this other guy, U.S. senator, who became a diplomat, ambassador, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that was fought before the Civil War. The Mormons took on the American government. Then you got to think about the Mormons are interesting because their founder, I believe his name was John Smith, he was lynched. This was a white man that was lynched for his religious beliefs. So the Mormons were treated like Negroes. They got pushed further out west. I can look all this up. It's interesting. The Mormon, like Howard Hughes used the Mormon Mafia. The Mormon Mafia took over Howard Hughes's multi-billion-dollar empire out in Las Vegas. They brought up all those casinos and hotels and stuff. His Mormon Mafia. And the Mormons were very heavily recruited by the FBI and CIA because they was very skilled in linguistics, the study of languages. So they very cerebral. And anyway, I'm getting off track. Let me get back. But with that said, there's so much history that we don't know about. It can't be erased. It's just get hidden and uncovered again.